Okay, hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jenna Blackert and I am a entrepreneur, past personal development teacher, and I am playing back into the digital marketing game because, oh my gosh, the amount of clients that I got that were energy workers and healers that said, "How did you do this?" were incredible. And I'll share with you in a moment how, like, exactly how that 1 year we made $1 million. I'm showing you behind the scenes in Infusionsoft and how we do this in 90 days, put together these launches. You're going to see the blueprint, you're going to see the plan, you're going to see the fill in the blanks. And most of this you can do without a graphic designer, a brand expert, or even a copywriter. And I'm just gonna take you in and kind of unveil everything. I'm gonna turn off this heater real quick because it is bothering me, and we'll get started. So here we go. Oh my goodness, are you ready? I'm so excited about this, first of all, because this is something that I don't usually talk about. So I would love in the chat if you just say hi, tell me where you're calling in from. Let me know if you've ever launched a product before. A lot of you have replied and told me, here's what the business I do. We've had energy workers, oil and gas people, jewelry designers. I mean, it's across the board. And you will see, I don't know how to do this for oil and gas necessarily, but most businesses will benefit from this type of work and this type of launching. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to interact. If you have questions, just go ahead and write them in. I will take them at the end of this session. And this should last a little over an hour. But I will answer anything. I will answer things about JV partners. I will answer things about Infusionsoft and Keap products. I'll answer questions about technology and lead pages. Whatever you have, I'm happy to answer. And I have a gift for you, and it's waiting on the last of this presentation. So if you want to get a really cool freebie, and I'll share with you in the presentation what that is, I would love to gift that to you. Thank you guys for, woo, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I'm gonna try to breathe along the way. Basically, here's how this came to be. I was freaking done. I was done with, telesummits, which was my big, call to create. I was done with internet marketing. I was done with advertising, Facebook ads. I was just exhausted. And so I, took my $1.5 million and I went and bought a few Airbnbs, and I did that for a little while. And then I got really tired of me doing that. And I really knew that I was creating a bigger impact by helping people market. I was creating a bigger impact by helping people really, make a difference and an impact with their work and whether they're an energy healer or a jewelry designer and they're selling a widget like t-shirts or books. I really knew that I was creating a greater impact if I was here helping you guys. And because I'm really from that energy personal development land, I am truly the expert at doing this in each breath, in each present moment. And whenever somebody gets overwhelmed, frustrated, or they just get into that, like, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, I am like the person that can always change that and change it super, super quick. So I just wanted to add that in there. It's a little bit different. I'm not your typical internet marketing coach because I've been doing this behind the scenes and not in the front end world. So with that being said, I want to tell you a little bit about my nugget of history. There are a few of you that have never been on a class with me or a webinar. So let me tell you about it. In the internet marketing space, there's a lot of great stuff. There's some good stuff and there's some total frauds. And I'm going to share with you kind of a missing piece that I think is going to rock your world. And I'm really going to like unveil it all. That's what I'm going to talk with you about today. We'll go into more specifics in just a little bit, but I wanted to ask you a question, and I'm curious, you know, why are you here, right? I mean, I'm sure that it has something to do with making more money, selling more products and services online, right? But I want you to go just a bit deeper, and I really want to ask you, what is your reason for being here? Meaning, what is the reason for you to do this work, to bring your products and programs online? Is it to make an impact? Is it to make an impact for others, for yourself? Is it just because it would be fun? You want to see if you can do it. You want to go on this deep entrepreneurial personal development experience. What is it for you? I would love to just add it to the chat. I'd love to hear your comments. Here's kind of my typical person that comes around the bend that I talk with, that they want to be reminded about their dream. They want to be reminded why they started their business in the first place, because they've gotten frustrated or overwhelmed or burnt out, and they're constantly trying and not truly creating the impact that they came here to create. They needed clarity, presence, focus, and they've kind of lost that loving feeling with too many directions. And that's why I put together a program that is almost a linear program where you can play in the infinite multidimensional energy that you actually are, yet in each moment and each breath, you come and you presently write copy. You come and presently craft and create these different things through what we've created is templates, so that you don't have to actually do it all yourself. Maybe you're ready to change patterns around the way you look at your business, the way you look at marketing, the way marketing is in your world, and you're ready to reignite like that energy, that passion, and really have a clear vision of your launch plan and how to do it. So that's typically the kind of person I work with. And if that's you, then you're in the right place. Here's exactly what we're going to talk about on today's class. You're going to learn about how to really choose and decide and get really exactly clear on what you're selling and launching. The amount of time that I've had to work with clients for even like 3 sessions, just for them to really understand, yes, they understand their product or service, but they don't know exactly how to explain it. I mean, especially with energetic work or holographic experiences. Like, people have trouble explaining that. But if you can share stories and talk about the change that happens with your clients when they experience your work, that is how you explain it. And that's exactly how you explain it in these launches. And we'll get to message in a minute, but really we need to decide, what is it exactly that you're selling here, right? Is it a course where you want like a certain amount of modules and they'd also get something else like crystals or, like the tool to use, I don't know. Then after we talk about decide, we're going to talk about messages. which is, I touched on it a little bit, because everything about a launch is about the message. Like, do you have clear videos, audios? What needs to be written? What needs to be emailed? What needs to be on social media? All of these answers are out there. And I think people get caught up in this constant content creation when actually they just need to know, okay, here are the messages, here's the origin story, the micro stories within my launch. Now, where do they need to go in expressing this and exciting the audience to actually get it? We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about plan and exactly what order you need to do it in, because if you don't, I mean, you can do it in a different order, but it will take you longer. I mean, I'm talking about let's launch in 90 days and work like 10 hours or less a week. I'm not here to mess around. Then we'll talk about create, and that'll be, you know, the actual, you know, creation to move your audience from the funnel of awareness, consideration, and conversion. We're going to talk about execute, and that's actually putting it out there in your launch, right? Getting them interested, excited, curious, and taking action. And then lastly, we're going to talk about what I call the evergreen. Like, once we get this done, we're going to look at the numbers and how to put it on pilots and then autopilots so that it really works. And again, I want to remind you, if you showed up late, I have a special surprise at the end, and this is live. So hi. I will answer your questions at the end, and there's a gift at the end. So this is me. I'm Jenith Blackert. I've been a coach online since 2006. I know it seems forever. I'll share more of the details in a minute, but basically over that time, I've done 24 plus launches. I know for sure that we could count 24. And 1 year alone, I made over $1.2 million. I'm going to show you the back of my Infusionsoft when that happened. And, you know, made this because I was really, really frustrated with the inauthentic copycats that couldn't show you a repeatable system, that wouldn't take you hand and hold your hand down the journey. It'd be like, here's the digital product, go. And this course is actually going to be something where we hand hold you for 12 full months, you know, because people don't launch things in 90 days unless you're me. And then I just kind of get like this hyper bug, and I'm just like, let's see if we can, and create these challenges for myself. And I'll show you how to do it so you don't have to do it all in 90 days, because you'll have my help and my team's help for a full year. And also you're going to have access to my agency where we actually do the stuff for you. So this is the day, and I should have like gone back and screenshotted this better, but this is the day that my my sales went over $1 million. And as you can see, some of these are, you know, monies going out to affiliates. So a lot of money was even going out right away before we even got to this number. And this is the beginning of October. Just so you know, my birthday is 10/1. This is the beginning of October. And so that was the year that we went way past 1.2 million gross. And I share this really because I want you to imagine this for you. Like, what if this is yours? What would that feel like? What would that be like, you know, to have over $1 million in your bank account coming in from sales in 1 year? And just to put it in a better perspective, if you make, say, 6 figures, maybe 100,000 a year, Okay, that's roughly a little less than $10,000 a month. Imagine it being $100,000 a month. Now, this is also gross sales. Half of this almost went out to our JV partners. Up until this point, I had done no advertising. I'd done this all through partners. When we do our launch together, I'm going to share a nugget about JV partners, but I'm really going to talk more about how to put the launch together. So let's go on. Basically, this is kind of how it all rolled out. In 2005, I was an executive at a computer company, and I ran these projects and kind of had an emotional crash and burn. And, you know, I was terrified to leave that job. And I have my first book that I wrote, Seven Dragons, which is in this corner here. I shared the whole story of how that emotional crash went down and what, it's like almost like I couldn't pursue my dream. But at that time, I wanted to be a writer and a coach. So I wrote that book, Seven Dragons, that came out at the end of 2007. It's still selling, because I talk about it, because it's great. It's about really releasing the dragons that are trapping you and befriending the dragons that are really here to play with you so you can have more of a limitless mind. I released that book in 2008, and then I tried to sell it, and I wanted to become an Amazon bestseller. So I started to look into some of those bestseller plans, which was a lot about partners mailing for the book. Well, then I got this wild idea. What if, this is the same time The Secret came out, so I got this wild idea that what if I write this book and I sell it while not just the book, but I also sell it with an interview series. So they get something back. So if somebody mails for a promotion, then they also get the book, right? And if you have questions about that, I can actually show you more how that works. But basically, I have a partner that promotes, that sends information to their list, and that list is invited to come to my event. When they come to my event, then they also, if they upsold or they bought something right away, then they got my book. And I'll share more about that in the program. But that was really when I was like, oh, wow, this really works. So that book became an Amazon bestseller. And then I started to do this series of interviews, which was called the New Wealth Experience. And one year I had over 100 people that I interviewed. To date, I've interviewed almost 700 different people. And that doesn't include all the people I've interviewed more than once. And, and most of those partners, we've sold something. Like we had an interview or a joint venture partner together, and then we sold something on the back end. To date, we currently have in our shopping cart on Jeneth.com about 50 products. And some of them sell, some of them don't. Some of them are going to need to retire really soon. And we'll see. In 2013, I really shifted from that summit model to creating evergreen business as usual. I started to run a podcast, and that was the time that I kind of was like, I think that I'm going to do something else to make money. And I invested in this Airbnb, and, it was just kind of, I lollygagged. It wasn't like $1 million year. We kind of went left. Today, what ended up happening over that time period was I had a lot of private clients, and I've had some private clients that have some really big launches, and they've had some really great experiences. And I was tired of working one-on-one. And a lot of my clients were asking for exactly what I'm sharing in this and the templates that I'll be sharing as well. Okay. Okay. So I have this idea and I want to launch something else. And I thought it would be really fun to not just like do a course, but do it with you guys. So in this idea of mine, I am going to share with you the plan on how, if you are going to launch something today, here's the exact plan of what we're going to go through, just a whole lot more in depth and with specifics and exactly how to use the technology and everything. I kind of get excited about this. So I've started to call online marketing OM. And I think of it like learning a foreign language, but it's also my reminder to take a breath and invite you into the energy, space, and consciousness of online marketing. Here we go. All right. So once you signed up for this webinar, I had an immediate upsell. This is what you would have gotten. And if you look here, each of these has a checklist. So, you get the launch planning board. This checklist tells you how to use it. And then you go through, and each of these have a checklist. And we'll kind of open up these doors on how this checklist works. But basically, we start with your messaging, right? As I shared, we start with decide, which it doesn't really fall in a checklist. And then we start talking about messaging. And here, let me go to the next slide so that we can talk about it. And within messaging, I really discovered through my many, many years of marketing that there's 3 types of stories and messaging. The first one is how this came to be. What was the origin story? What was the big ahas? What's the claim to fame here? And like I shared with you at the very, very beginning, it came to me because I've done a lot of marketing. I've taken a lot of courses, and I realized that the hand-holding and giving of templates were not easily accessible. So that's why I created this. A hooky story. So I wrote, if you are on my email list, you might have seen the Star Wars story that I was talking about me and my husband just being fans and fanatics of Star Wars and a lot of the Marvel series. And I wrote that to share with you how I look at a launch and then invite you to this webinar. And then the micro stories, and in in this, there's 31 micro messages. They're just question prompts. For example, work with me, right? Share what today I'm gonna share work with me Wednesday, and today you're going to see exactly what I work on in my business. And there are things you can do on Facebook stories. There are little pictures and comments that you would put on social media to engage and get people interested, not just in what you're selling in this one launch, but get them interested in you as a brand and as a business and trust you as a person. So, this is kind of, I look at this as like art. How can I take a total stranger off the street and invite them into my world? Let them see, how I've discovered things. Let them know the quirky things about me. Let them know and see my life and how I create these launches and how I do it with clients. So that's a nugget about where I start with launches. So before we put anything on the internet, we have decided what we're selling, and then we start writing. And we look at, you know, what would be the imaging, what would be the colors, what would be the color palette even that would go with this. Like, what do you want that customer to experience? And how do you make a launch message so that they perceive it as, like, you know, in mine, it's playful. It's like a comic strip. Like, we were trying to go for the colors of a vintage comic strip and make it like inviting and playful and different. And I look at that as a message. It's not just like what you write, it's like the entire brand message and experience. All right, enough said about that. Okay. It's also the message, and the message through all of this is really about you bringing in your different, your superpower different, your essence, your being, and how you are different. And then we'll go into front-end marketing. And in this module and training, you know, I teach you really like, what is an add-in and opt-in, right? What kind of message would go in that? And I'll share with you some examples and things like that so that you really get, okay, I want to invite them on a journey, like, you know, a brand journey with me, so that, you know, they want to be a part of your world. And that, you know, you also want to bring them into like what I call a funnel, which can be a really, really simple funnel. And in the system, we give you templates for that simple funnel. But we start them in like, you know, how can everything sort of look very much of a similar trend so that they know that it's yours, like an entire customer journey brand message. Okay, I think you get it. If you get it, just say, I get it. Stop screaming message in my head. All right. So this is kind of just a bird eye view of opt-ins, right? Like, you know, it's sort of like that you build it, they come. Well, it doesn't work like that anymore. We want to give them an experience. We want to give them a look and a feel. We want to give them an invitation to your work. And that's what the opt-in should be, is like a simple invitation. You know, what message will you use for your launch messages? We've got lead templates that uses a software called Lead Pages. And we've created a couple templates that we really find work really well. And then after they opt in, they'll get some kind of taste of your work. It could be an audio, it could be an audio and PDF. We like doing a video and a PDF. That seems to be enticing enough that people really want to opt in and build the list. You can also build an opt-in for what I'm doing here, like a webinar. It's great. And my advice for this launch is that you create 12 different ones, right? To give people tastes of and an entry point into your world. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but look at the money we're talking about. I mean, if you do this right and you do, you know, I've got like a bunch of little hooky things that get people to stick. If you do the hooky things to get them to stick, it works. And if you work it, it works, and it will change your life. I really think that these launches and going through the fear and the risk and the emotions of it has been the #1 thing that has made me me. So just saying. After that, we're going to go through the core offer. This will be on your sales page. You'll see my sales page when we get there. What goes on a sales letter, right? Like, what's the story? Because really, you're taking them from the problem all the way through to the solution and telling them the story of it. So, you know, what is the story? And you take them through it. And so we even created prompts here, right? So like the sales page will have, it's like Mad Libs, right, for marketing. It's like, why blank allows you to blank and ensures you blank. So, and that would be like, this could be a topic or a title, and it'd be like, why marketing launches always make you burnt out. I'll have to look at the actual example, sorry about that. And ensures you, you know, money, I don't know. Well, I'll look at it, that was funny. I'll look at the actual ones that I have the blanks. It makes sense. Believe me, it makes sense. You know, how to get $100,000 even when your life sucks and you have no money and you don't have something you think you need and you don't have any time, right? So we've made these like series of Mad Libs in the sales letter. And you also get to see what we would put in those blanks so that it makes sense. Anyway, that's, it makes it fun. Then lastly, you know, we'll talk about going from pilot to autopilot, systematizing of, you know, what worked, what didn't, what you're gonna do different in your next launch, where you need to recalibrate and really make a change, so. Okay, so this is kind of, oops, this is my content planning methodology. And so what we do here, this is the entire system of what is in what I'm calling Launch Lab, that is about launching with us. But I have you create your own content planning methodology. By the way, this is the gift at the very end. If you want to get this visual, this PDF, it's the gift at the very end. But you'll go through this content methodology and you'll make your own, like what is there? What are the tools, the systems, the processes that you have to make a methodology to go from decide, message, plan, create, execute, and a return path? That's our plan for the Launch Lab, right? This is our system. Within these systems, we've got Clarity, what I call the 90-day note, the money matrix. These are actual tools that we use so that you can decide. Origin story, micro message, and the hot, that is actual tools we use to create a message. The oh wow, this is like all of your planning, getting it ready to launch. Creating is how you can do it, you know, by time batching and really making an agile plan. So if something isn't working in one of your initial just create an audience with one simple opt-in, then you can recalibrate with agile planning, which is very different than waterfall planning. We also talk about execute, like, you know, how would your social ads be? Would you do Facebook ads? Would you do YouTube ads? Where are you getting traffic? Would it be joint venture? Would it be through only ads? Would it be, you know, from just being loud on social media? And then how do you test it? Like, how do you find out what traffic works for you? And then we talk a little bit about retargeting people, how to just get awareness and move them from awareness down the funnel. We talk about autoresponders and then how to put this on autopilot. This is kind of what's going to happen in the next 90 days, like what content's going to be released. And what you hopefully will want to choose to put together your own methodology so that you can also do this too. And there's a lot more. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, tricks and oh my gosh, it's just amazing. So since there's a lot more of this, is it okay if I take a few minutes to tell you a little more about LaunchLab and why I created it to help you? Whew, making your method. So the LaunchLab, and this one specifically is what I'm calling Launch with Me. I'll probably just do a LaunchLab 2.0, but this one I actually want to launch something with you. Here's what is actually in the LaunchLab: a curriculum, templates, and then there are every single month for 12 months, there are clarity classes, and there's a bunch of surprises that I'll tell you a little bit about. So unlike other systems, we are here to offer you an ongoing experience where you get me creating alongside of you. You also get me training, coaching you, and you also get me helping you along the way, right? And if you want, you can also get my team to help you as well. We have, well, I will go into that in a little bit. Superpower. So I just want to take a breath here. I know I'm going, like, this is my first time offering this presentation. So, you know, I just want to kind of, if you have questions that come up, I just want to remind you, please ask your question. So basically, this is how it all is rolling out. This is what's, okay, so it's a 6 modules curriculum. There are 30-minute clarity sessions each month. Whoops, I'll go back. There'll be 18 coaching videos that will help you along the way. And there is 18 PDFs that are actual tools for you to fill out. You can make a book out of it if you want, so that you have, you know, it all there, right? This is specifically what it kind of looks like. So module 1 is all about what we talked about: decide, getting clear on your launch and your audience. It's designed to help you understand exactly what you're launching. So we do this with these 3 tools called Clarity, the 90-day note, actually creating a vision and an energetic vision around it, and what I call the money matrix. That's when you actually bring in the logical part and look at it. Does it make sense? And does it make sense for your audience? So it's about vision, clarity and focus, and money. Okay. Module number 2 is about your message and crafting that brand message to launch you as a person, to get them to like, know, trust you, to create copy for high converting web pages, social media, sales letters, and autoresponders. Like, what messages will be in this launch? Even if they're reused or parts of them are reused, what will be in this launch? Number 3 is first, you get the Trello template, and it's really about, you know, your entire launch checklist. Like, what is it that, you know, how many times do you get a photo shoot done for this launch? And can you make sure you get all the photos at once? So your hair and makeup need to be done that day. Or what days does your hair and makeup need to be done so that you can show up on camera, be socially, if that's your thing. It's also like we batch our clients, we batch our interviews together now, so that you know, when you're in interview mode, you can just be in interview mode. Instead of like back and forth. And I mean, for me, I don't know about you, but it takes time for me to get back into creative writing. So this is about planning, batching, blocking out time, and creating the most powerful launch you can create. Module number 4 is really about going live and in your first opt-in, right? It's about, you know, taking those strategic plans and starting to release them and grow your traffic and grow your audience. And module 6 is about using evergreen timeless marketing principles to move it from pilot to autopilot. We talked a lot about this a little bit earlier. I know I'm going fast. The last module is really executing all this and doing it with me over 12 months. So after the master class and the master teachings, or maybe I should say with it, we're also going to give you these 4 templates and checklists. You're going to get a Trello planning checklist, which is actually a software template that goes in a software system called Trello. Within each of those components, you have a checklist of what we're going to do. Now, the one that you get that's $37, that was the upsell when you signed up for this webinar, is a little bit different than what's in this. So I just want to warn you or tell you up front that this will go into everything that we're doing in the entire launch, versus just the few things that you should think about when you're putting together your messages or when you're putting together your opt-ins or your front-end offer. You're also going to get lead pages, the sales page template, and an opt-in landing page template, and you're going to get our launch planning checklist. So these are actually, you know, all you need to do is customize it, change the text, change some of the images, make it yours. And I'm going to teach you and walk you through all of it. How much easier would it be if you had fill in the blank templates? Here's what the Trello template, and each of these would be clickable and interactive, so you can see this checklist. So that's kind of the biggie of them all. And then of course you're going to get the sales page checklist, the opt-in checklist, or the opt-in template, sales page template, and the master checklist. But what's really cool, and I've changed this from 3 clarity calls to now 12. These are just group clarity calls where we get on the phone together weekly. I believe it's on Wednesdays, Wednesday afternoon, like around this time. So every week, not every week, every month for a year, I'm going to make myself available, and they'll probably go an hour. I'm thinking that it'll probably go an hour, but we'll get on, we'll just answer questions, and then when we're done, we're done. And I just want to be here, you know, when you need help. So I'm going to make it so if you want me to look at your opt-in page and you can send me a link, great, right? We'll get on that community call and we'll do it. It's also going to be through a Facebook group too. So if there's benefit for you being in this because there are other people that are launching too, that's an added benefit. So just in adding it up, the curriculum, I said, is between like 2 and 10,000, right? I wanted to put 10,000 there, but I thought, you know, if it was actually going to sell this individually, it should be 2,000, right? The launch kit with all the templates is around 2,000. The clarity calls is probably way more than 1,500, but I put that there. And then you're going to get a blueprint bonus training and call where I'm actually going to go through the, you know, kind of show you behind the scenes of our various opt-in pages, and you're going to get a little more meat than what you're going to get here. So that's around $5,600. Now, if you got all that and it helped you, would it be worth just one payment of $2,500? That's over half off. And if all this did was give you a plan for a 5-figure launch, would a one-time payment of $2,500 be worth it? Okay. And if all this did was teach you how to speak to sell, would a one-time payment of $2,500 be worth it? I'm just asking. Because here's the thing, I had two choices. I could charge $2,500 for a year-long program, or I could take you along a journey with me while I'm launching something as well that would also prove to you that the system was worth it. So here's what I decided. So first, I decided, you know what, I'm going to put in some other bonuses. So I use this product called Keep. And it's a lead, it manages all my clients, right? It manages my clients, manages my prospects, all the autoresponders and emails that you got with it. It does all that. So if you follow me, like me, you want to do it exactly this way, you will probably want to use Keep. So I'm making a class in Keep and showing you behind the scenes to teach you how to do it, called Make 'em Stick. You're also going to get a bonus on how I've made my Facebook ads through Canva. Hopefully someday I'll have some Canva templates for you that I might just throw in during this 12-month program, and which made kind of it looking like it was about $5,800. And then I thought, you know what if I also invited them to a live event where we just like pull out the stops and we work together. So the tickets for that is about $1,100. So that's making our total around $6,900 now. So what is it worth to you? I mean, others have paid $10,000 for my live mastermind. I've had private clients pay me up to $500 for a single session just to kind of open the door and pick my brain. What would it cost you if you don't get this launch funnel working, right? Like, I just want you to like dive in. Like, I'm kind of gifting you, like, this is going to work. And if it doesn't work, we're going to work with you until it works. So here's what I'm looking at. Here's what I'm thinking. So what if today for $997, we give you all 12 months, all these templates, 12 months of clarity calls, those 4 bonuses for $19.97 or $97 for 12 months. But then I thought, you know what, this is my first masterclass with you guys, and the quicker I fill it, the less marketing I have to do. So I decided to make it irresistible. I like decision makers, and I'm only leaving this open for 48 hours. So if you go to jenith.com/launch-lab, this is a typo. It's actually either $497 for the year, or it's 47 months. It will go up to that previous price in 48 hours. So imagine what your life would be like in 1 year if you allow me and my team to coach you and possibly help you design this launch you're thinking about. My guarantee is you can cancel anytime after 5 months if you're on the monthly. If you aren't seeing the growth, or you're not just working it, we will let you cancel after 5 months. So what is possible that you haven't allowed in? You are worth this. Is this worth it? Would this be fun? Would this be fun for us to do it together? So you have a choice, and if you choose right now, here's the price. All you need to do is go to jeneth.com/launchlab. And everything is written out there, and you are going to see it. We even have the timer on when this stops. This is like, no, this is, you know, it's happening. There, you know, it will end in 48 hours. There's no exceptions. If you didn't get all this, or you were in and out during the replay and you think you have to listen to the replay, you have 48 hours to listen. That's it. This price point is going away. The video is going away. I put my heart, my soul, my everything into this, and I want some empowered decision makers to join. All right, let's open it up for questions. Oh, the gift. Yes, the gift. So yeah, if you have questions, please go ahead and type it in the chat. The gift, I'm giving you away that content planning map, and you have to join the VIP Insiders, which is my Facebook Messenger. And if you go to m.me/JenethEmpires, you can get your free gift. And the 24-hour link is at jeneth.com/launchlab. Let's see what kind of questions you have. All right, so one of the questions that I feel kind of might work with this, and I want to address Roberta as well. One of the questions that we had was, how much hands-on do you get with me? And I'm pretty much like, this is my baby. And so it would be like almost coaching with me once a month, right? Because I'm going to have that clarity call, and I'm going to have like all the tools and everything that you need to launch. So you will have that, right? So if that is something that if you're kind of looking for a coach, but you don't want to make a massive investment like what some of us would charge, then this would be an opportunity for you to join me. Roberta said earlier on that she has a lot of different life experiences in which her life and going through it would help others. Yes, like that is like why coaches are so potent and powerful, because what they've gone through it. So what we would need to decide is to really choose first an area that you'd want to focus on to help them. And, you know, I used to say niche schmish, and I decided that, no, you know, what I found that in launching over and over again is that you have to at least come up with a topic, right? If you want to work, you know, even though you can work with people on like body image and their money problems, right? The one launch would have to be on body image, and another launch would have to be on money problems. You would need to choose like, what is that thing that to make a successful launch. I wouldn't feel confident launching, I'm a coach, right? or I can help you with this, this, and this. Like choose one topic and then we'll go down the rabbit hole with launching it. Yeah, so Lisa asked, what if we don't have a product or service when we, you know, when we launch, right? So yeah, I'm inviting you in that decide period, in that choose period, to get clear on that. That is why I added that to this, is to really look at and go deep into who you are and what you love talking with people about the most, and diving deep into what is it that I want to share with them? What is it that I've got that will change their life? And that's how we would start to get really clear on it. And then there's also like, does it make sense for the market, which is what the money matrix is about. So, any other questions that have come up through this that you'd like to ask? Is this my last slide? Yeah, there's an arrow there, but it's my last slide. So just so you know, and I'm just sharing that with you guys that are either live or gonna listen to this in the next 48 hours. This webinar, this masterclass, everything that's in it is going to be gone. Meaning that I'm going to do a totally new and different masterclass in another week and a half that will, you know, that, and we're just going to test this, and we're going to do 6 of these masterclasses. And every time I'm going to up the price of it, and probably the offering is probably going to expand. But if you join, then you're still going to get all of that, because once I launch something, I keep wanting to give things and keep adding things. So if you're interested, I invite you to ask your questions and get it answered if you really think that you want to do this. And if you're listening to this on the replay, I want to make sure that you get all your questions answered too. So email us. Like, I have a team of 5 of us here that are like willing and ready to help. So I'm inviting you to, you know, however you want to interact, go for it. So with that being said, I guess I'm going to wrap up. And we put this on 48-hour replay. So if you want to listen again, go for it. Again, the link is jenith.com/launchlab. And I mean, I want to help you. Let me help you create. So, you know, let me know how I can help you if there's more to helping you. All right. Oh, I hope to see you on the next masterclass in about a week and a half, and I hope to see some of you in the class. Bye for now.